Thought I'd just do a quick random video about pipes. So we got stormwater 90mm. As you can see, this is the socket. This is obviously the male piece that goes into the socket. We've got priming fluid, which is no longer red because it got left out in the sun a few days and UV light breaks down the red dye. We've got non-pressure pipe adhesive, basically. So it's a solvent cement, basically. It starts to, what happens is the priming fluid, which I've already applied, it starts to soften the surface of the pipe. Like I can even feel between there and there. This feels really shiny and hard. This kind of feels soft and grippy. Now I like to use the priming fluid, even though it's not a requirement under the Australian standards for stormwater, but I use it anyway. So basically what I've done is, so what you get is, this would be red, keep in mind, but it's not anymore. It's kind of gone that dreadful colour. Basically, you just get this brush and, you know, wipe off some of the excess. And basically, I get the camera in here. Basically like this. And pretty much, the way I do it is just the same on the outside. Now, I've already done this, so that's why I'm not worried about doing a good job, because it's been done thoroughly before I shot the video. So this, it works to eliminate any oil or anything like that, and it starts to soften the pipe. Now you apply the glue to both surfaces, and where you want to start is this guy. And the reason why is because this takes a lot longer to put the glue on than this guy, and the glue really does start to dry in a hurry, or cure I should say. So I'll just get rid of some of the excess priming fluid. This is just toilet paper. You know, it's fairly cliche, I suppose, to use toilet paper on pipes, but I'm going to bring you guys in so you can... Oh, we are doing the outside of it, but I need to get myself on the right angle. This is for the shed, by the way. Now, this is a brush. I prefer the other type, either the roller or the ball on the stick, basically, but... So just generously apply it. I mean, if the pipe's on display, like, you know, if it's a vent pipe on a wall or something, you might want to be a little more, you know, frugal with the glue. But this pipe's going to be buried in the ground. No one's ever going to see it. There's nothing wrong with putting more glue than less. Don't let people tell you that too much glue is a problem, because it's actually too little glue that's a problem. If you put too little glue on this, remember, this pipe is a reasonably sharp edge. It's going to push the glue out of there. So you have to give it every chance. Now this is way... So obviously the socket would normally kind of end where the brush ends, but yeah, I'm doing it through the lens of a camera, basically. So we're going to make sure that doesn't touch the ground. So that's the, well, basically the male part done. For the socket, this is easy. So if I bring this up here, this is how I do the socket. So get plenty of glue, and just make sure you covered it all. Make sure you got plenty of glue in that socket, because this pipe will come apart under the ground eventually if you don't put enough glue in it. So I always say that glue's cheap. I mean, who cares how much glue you use? So we got plenty of glue. I know I'm going to get hate mail for using so much glue, but we got plenty of glue. And basically what we're going to do now, because this pipe's obviously going to be flat, we're going to socket this pipe. Now, I don't know how much of that it caught, probably not all of it, but yeah, I socketed the pipe, and I'm not just going to let it go. I'm actually going to hold this for, not for very long, I mean. So you want the socket to be, basically, you want the socket to be on this end every time, and the basic reason is, if you did it the other way around, you might finish up with a socket on the end where you don't want a socket. So that's how I do it. I mean, there's no real, doesn't really matter which way you do it. Always put the lid on your glue as soon as you're finished using it, because basically what's going to happen, like I've done many times in the past, is knock this glue over and put it everywhere. As you can see, there's a fair bit of squeeze out. If this was on display, what you can often do is get the priming fluid, put the brush out aside. This isn't recommended, this isn't how you're supposed to do it, but this is how I do it. If you've got a lot of glue on the joint and it's really badly on display, you can clean it up with this, basically. If you want to put that camera on the subject matter. Yeah, you can see that you can use it to clean it off, basically. I'm not going to do that. It'll never get all of it off, but you can get a fair bit off Like if I go to another piece, I was trying not to get glue on myself, but yeah, the dye in the glue will eventually fade in the sunlight if it's on display. But yeah, you can do that. Obviously not with toilet paper, but you can do that if you have to. So that's the joint glued together. It's not going to come apart. It's got more than enough glue holding the joint together. And because I've used priming fluid, once you socket that joint, you are not getting that apart. If you didn't use priming fluid, if it's not required by law, you'll get the thing apart if you have to. You can cut basically straight on the edge of that socket, and you can cut like a slit in here and you can peel it off. Same with this part. If you want to keep the socket, you can cut it here, get a hacksaw blade on its own, and you can put a slit on this pipe, like obviously down the bottom. So anyway, just a random video. Thanks for watching.